Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be using Python for scraping data from different websites. And in this example, we'll be focusing on particular library. So if you notice, Python has multiple different libraries and functions for web scraping purposes. So here are a few common web scraping libraries. So the most common web scraping library is Beautiful Soup, where you can get the complete page source from a particular web page, and then you can drill down using different elements and then get all the details of it and then use it however you want to use. Selenium is used for automating browser actions. So if as a customer, if I'm clicking over at some element where I want to do after that I click somewhere else, then it automates that action and basically does all the functions which a normal user will do, and we can automate that. In this video, we'll be specifically talking about request HTML library. So in this video, we have used request HTML library for scraping data from IMDb website. So let me quickly go to the website. So here I've taken an example of a website of top 250 movies in IMDb, and this is the page over here. And here we have the rank and the title. We also have the IMDb rating, and in case we clicked on any of them, we'll get more details about it. That we'll be taking this example of scraping all this data from this particular page, and we'll be taking an example of how can we scrape, let's say, a director name from coming to this page. So here what we'll be doing is we'll be scraping each links out of each of these movie names, and then going into these pages, and then we'll be scraping the director name and having a complete set of the movie name, the rating, and the director. So let's just to try to open first the Jupyter Notebook. So for implementing this, I have already created a Python script, which I'll be taking you over it. So once I open the Jupyter Notebook using the Anaconda framework, it opens up over here. And I'll just directly go to the place where have the script. All right. So here is the script for scraping the web page. So here I'll be going through each of the statements which I've used here and explaining why I have they used it. We'll also be trying and printing out some few statements. How did I come up with creating a function which will give me a path? And the objective here is we'll in the end have an output of an Excel file which will give us the complete data of movie name, rating, and director. So here we can, the goal is basically scraping the data and getting the data in an Excel format, which we can filter out. And if we want to know who is the topmost director out of it, and then we can try to analyze that. So the first thing here, I have imported a request HTML library. This library is basically helping us to scrape the web page. In case if we don't have this library, what we can do is we can just go to our Anaconda environment and click the Anaconda prompt. And here we can just type pip install requests underscore HTML. So when we type this, it will install the necessary packages and all. Currently, I have this package already installed. That's the reason it is showing me requirement already satisfied. For you, it might install different packages and load this into it. So I'll just close it over here. Import time is a function. Basically, I've used to keep a track of time and seeing in how much time does this scraper work, and how much time does it scrape the data. The third, I am basically using pandas. Pandas is a library which can help you create a data frame. Data frame is like an Excel kind of viewing feature in Python. So I can see the data in rows and columns. Python display clear output I have just used to simplify my printing options, because if I want to just see the progress of different scrape movements, so if I have 10 things to scrape and I'm running a loop from 1 to 10, I don't want, if I want to just track at which record it is, then I'm just using this to clear the output and show the final number of values over here. So now in this one, in this line, what we do is we are using we are initializing a session with requests HTML and HTML sessions. We're just loading an HTML session and loading it to a session page. Here in this session, we'll be using using our URL, which we go over it and store it into R, a variable R. So R will be having the complete information of the page which we are loading over here. So let me just restart and run this function. So first I'll just click on Shift Enter and I'll just run this keyword. It will show star and then show line number once it's run. So I've loaded all the libraries over here. I've loaded the session over here and I've called this page and stored the data into R. So I'll just add few cells below in order to just understand how do we navigate forward. So in R, I have different elements of this page. The second step, what I'll be doing is I'll be going to my web page over here and I'll click on F12. So when I click on F12, I see the source and I can inspect any element over here. I can even reach by using inspect over here, right clicking and inspect over here. It will land me to the same page. So the idea here is if I want to scrape any web page from using request HTML, I'll just click over here, select an element, and I'll just hover over the element which I want to scrape. So if I want to scrape this particular name, Shawshank Redemption, I'll just click over here. Here is the data, and I'll just right click over here and copy an XPath over here. So if I just copy paste the XPath over here, you can notice here I have a complete information of the element over here, and here I can see it is a part of a table, and there's a something mentioned like TR and TD, which is basically a table row, and here is the number which is mentioned, which table row are we looking at, and the table data. Table data is 2 over here because we are looking at the name. Table data might be 1 for the rank and table data might be 3 for the rating. So here we have this XPath of the title of the movie. So now let's look at the title of Godfather. So here what we are assuming that this table will have multiple movie titles in a series of order. So if I move over here, we're just trying to confirm whether which uh, number do we have to change. So if you notice, every movie title is named in table row and table data is 2. So here what I can do is if I change this to 3 or 4, I'll be able to navigate to that particular book movie title and get the name of it. The second thing what I need to do is I want to know what is the IMDb rating of it. So I'll just scroll over here. I'll just click over here and I'll just copy the XPath over here. So if you notice, the table row is 1. The table data has changed from 2 to 3, and from A it has changed to strong. So maybe this could be some keyword which is they have put, but never mind. We'll just have to work on changing these numbers, and then we can get the data from here. So the current thing in this, we know exactly that there are 250 movies which are part of the list. But in case if we don't know in a web page how many number of items are there, if it is 250 or 200 or 10 or any number, what can we do is we can check how many are there in that particular table if it is a part of table. So for every website, the XPath, the website structure could be different. Here we'll have to take an idea about how can we experiment and try it out. So here what I'll be doing is I'll be checking how many elements are there. So now, for example, if I want to just see the text of this particular XPath, what I'll be doing is I'll just be using a simple command, which is this command. So here what I'm doing is in this session which is being loaded, I'm taking a HTML content and I'm searching for an XPath over here. And when I'm searching for XPath, I'll just open it in round brackets and I'll mention the XPath over here. So this is my XPath. I'll just copy it over here. I'll just put a single quote and paste my XPath over here. And here, the only thing is for an XPath, we'll have multiple components. This XPath could be matching with multiple such components, and it could be in a series function. So what I'll just be using 0 to call the first element out of it. So if I just run this, right, I know this is a part of element, and if you can see, this is a part in a list function because it has a square bracket over here. So what I'll be doing, I'll just run the zeroth command and I'll get the element here. Now from this element, what I need is, I just need its text. So if you notice, I've got the name over here. The Godfather Part 2 is the name of the movie, which I'm looking at here. So if you notice, if I scroll to this value, here I'm getting this particular element and the title name is over here. It's in this text option. So I'm taking this text option in my Python file and I'm getting this particular name over here. Now, if I do the same thing with this particular name, then I'll be able to get the ratings of the movie. So now, if you notice, here we have a complete pattern of this information, and we can even get probably the link out of it. So if you notice here, we have a href, href thing where it will give us a URL of the title which we are looking at. So if I click on this title, it will basically move me to the next page where the complete information of that movie is present. So here what I'll be doing is, if you notice in this part, we have the information from title onwards, but the imdb.com has been added preceding the title. So what we'll be doing is we can use the same thing. I'll just click on links. All right, this is part of 9.3, so that's the reason there's no link available here. I'll be taking this XPath, which is pointing towards the name. So when I see this link, I get a kind of straight part over here. Let me just know the type of it. So after knowing the type is set over here. So if I want to extract any element from a set, I have to use a pop keyword, which will give me the complete information from that set. So here I'm basically getting this information from the name. Then I'm getting the rating using the table data 3. Table data 2 is giving me the name. And table data 2, if I use the link and pop it out, then I'm getting the complete URL of that page. So the idea here is that we'll be capturing each name, rating, and then we'll be going to that each URL and then getting the director name out of it. So using the director name, also we'll be doing the same thing. We'll just click, let's say I'll just go here and inspect. I'll just click over here and go to this section and just copy the XPath over here. So this is for a different page, and this is my XPath, which will give me the director name. So if you notice, here we have different XPaths of different elements which we want to capture. In the end, we want to get this complete details in a same function. So what I'll be doing is, first I've created the my session over here. This is my HTML XPath for the link. So if I hover over this and change this to any number, I'll get the name of it. Now my next point is to get how many number of rows does it have. So as this is a part of table, what I'll be doing is I'll just be removing this part from table body till the end, because here I'm just trying to look how many, if I'm able to get some information from the table or not. So if I run this, I get a complete table over here, chart top 250 movies. And if I just type text over here, then I'm getting all the complete detail for that particular page. So what I'll be doing is, to make it simple enough, I'll just type links. And here I have a total, all the links for the movie. And to know how many characters do I have to go through, I'll just use a function called length to know the links. So I completely get the number that there are 250 links out of it. Now combining all these three things, what I'll be doing is I'll be using this complete thing to have my table XPath. So I have added this XPath to a table XPath over here, and I've created a new variable which is called total movies, which is giving me the number of links, which is over here 250. And what I've done is I'm getting for the movie name, I've just broken down this XPath into two things. So as I have to change every time this number, I've just broken down this XPath into two parts. So this is my movie name one, which is over here, and this is my movie name two, which is over here. And if you notice, for the rating, we just have to go to table data 3 and add a strong over here, while the rest of the part remains the same. So with this, we add a movie rating over here. So these are the few things which I've done here. I'll just cut all these records, explanation. So here I have declared my features, declared my XPath over here, and now I have created a empty list over here. So why am I doing this over here? So for example, when I'm running a loop to get one detail for a movie name, so I'll just create a tuple over here. So let me just create a sample tuple. The movie name is, let's say, assume A. I'm getting the rating as 9.2, and let's assume I'm getting a director name as B. So this is my tuple over here, which has all the three values over here. Now, the idea here is that if I have any list over here, I'll just create a blank list as A, and now I can append this complete tuple in that particular list. So now, after appending the list, if I print that list, I get complete three names over here. And I can do this repeatedly. For example, if I do this again, I get this two list. Why am I doing this list of tuples values into it? Because in the end, what we can do is we can just convert this A into a data frame. If I just convert this into A into data frame, and let me just mention the columns as let's just have random names for now. So when I convert this, it will give me into a data frame, which I can convert it into an Excel file and then store it. So I'll just remove all these things. So here I have an empty movie list over here. Now, if you notice the first line here, I have just added start time. This is just using the time over here. And then in the end, if I have this one time, I can take the difference of end time and start time to get it the time to scrape in seconds. So once I'm running this for complete total movies, the next part is I'm just initializing the movie name over here, which is using the same HTML XPath function over here. And what we're doing is we're just adding the movie name over here. We're just adding string, converting to a string, this number, I+1, so that we completely get this complete XPath over here. In case my I will be 0, it will just add I+1 and I'll get the table row 1 for this particular XPath. So once I get the complete XPath movie name, I just take the text out of it and store it in movie name. The similar thing which I do with movie rating number. The next part, what I'm doing is I'm using the same function which is over here, the movie name too, but instead of using the text, I'm taking the link out of it and I'm using a pop element. So I get the complete text, a complete link starting from title. And then I just add the IMDb. So I just clear the output over here and print the I, so I know which record it is running. The next part, what I do is I take the director XPath and store it in this variable director. And what I do is I use the same thing as we have used our session.get to get this complete web page. I create another session, which is M, which is going to this movie particular link out of it. So every time I'm getting this movie link and going to that particular page and taking the movie director from that particular web page. And once I have all these things ready, movie name, rating number, movie director, I just create a tuple out of it, which will have all these three things combined together, and I'll append it to a movie list over here. So here I've just run this for 10 records over here. So when I just run this, it will just show me the final element. So let's run for one, then second, then third, and so on. It will just run over here and just give me that final number. So I can exactly know what is the final row number which it is executing over here. All right. So here it has run all the records over here, and this time it has took about 25 seconds to run all these things. So if we divide it by about 10 records, we'll ideally get about 2 to 3 seconds per URL, which is scraping. So here, if I go to movies list, so here I have a complete list which will give me Shawshank Redemption 9.2 rating, the director name over here. And now in the next step, what I'm doing is I'm just converting this complete list into a data frame. So if I just copy this thing over here, it will just create a data frame which will give me a complete list over here. And in the end, I'm using this data frame function itself to convert it into Excel file and give me a file which is IMDb top movies XLSX, which we have in the current folder itself. So thank you very much for watching the video. Hope you learned something well. If you do like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much.